It ain't masks, but it is thing. It is thing.
It's thing.
That's quite a breakfast array balance. Does it fit kind of stack you have going on there, Frank? It's good stuff.
And especially going downstairs and stuff. Very nice.
And on a boat? Jesus.
Another stupid thing that I printed.
Ooh.
Oh, that's dope. Are you going to paint it?
The kids thought it was a spaceship because it was printing like this.
Uh,
It was like, what kind of spaceship has holes in it? I'm like, that's not a thing. Probably won't paint it. Anyway, okay, so we're Starforged. When I've already done this thing, you're gonna have to help me remember some of what we did here. But where we already kind of worked out the sector that we're in and stuff, and but we had a couple. Frank and Andrew are going to be able to join us here, so we still have to kind of work out a little bit of character stuff, really quick. For those guys, Frank, thank you. Both of you, thank you for getting the assets in. To summarize the game, I'm gonna ask Frank to, when he stops moving, I'm gonna summarize the rule system as quickly and simply as I can. I think I can do it in one sentence. Partly because they changed one of the rules, so it's a lot simpler to explain than it used to be. I think he's stationary.
He had to put us down so he can grab his stuff from the door.
Nice. Beautiful. It's good stuff. Wait till he's done moving. Dinkos, we are live. We are live. We're not doing Mass today. We're doing Starforged.
So did I fall into frame? Because I literally tripped and cut myself.
Nice job.
I saw you hunch over and pause, and I thought you were just being dramatic.
No, I literally tripped and I almost lost fucking everything.
Oh no!
I thought you were just sharing your breakfast with us, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice. That looks delicious."
So the all right. I want to summarize this as quickly and simply as I can. Starforged is based on Ironsworn, and Ironsworn is a cousin that shares a lot of psychological DNA with Powered by the Apocalypse. You could consider it a Powered by the Apocalypse game, depending on what part of it you consider to be Powered by the Apocalypse, like what defines Powered by the Apocalypse. For me, the results of you failed or you succeeded at great cost, that mixed success, the success arc that I look for in a lot of games anymore is in Starforged, and it's definitely in Starforged and Ironsworn, and therefore it's a Powered by the Apocalypse game, but the dice mechanics are different. Really simply, instead of rolling 2 6-sided dice like you do in a Powered by the Apocalypse game, you roll 1 6-sided dice and you add the stat that you have, and the same kind of thing as with Powered by the Apocalypse. Like a 3 is really good, 2 and 1 are less good, but still whatever. No negative numbers in this one. And you roll it against 2 10-sided dice, and basically you've got to beat one or both of those 10-sided dice. If you beat none of them, it's a fail. If you beat one of them but not the other one, it's a mixed thing. If you beat both of them, awesome. Very simple. You have to beat them. Ties don't count. Ties go to the challenge dice. Okay?
House always wins.
If the challenge dice are doubles, that's either really good or really bad. So if you beat double ones, it's awesome. When I did that thing against Strahd and tried to drive him out of Barovia, I got double ones. And I was doing a little dance. I literally was screaming all over the place. The first flippin' dice roll
I wrote behind you, by the way.
Hello, elf. What do you need, goblin? Step 1, ask if I need to be involved in whatever she's bringing to me. Because they may not want that.
Daddy, what hurts? What hurts?
No, so-and-so won't give back the so-and-so that I lent to him. Go and ask him if he thinks that I need to be involved in this. Now, he does have, as we established yesterday from the Starforged game, a certain fuck around and find out attitude at times. But usually, it's not pointed at me. So,
but that also makes ask him if he thinks Dad needs to be involved in this the perfect question.
Yeah, I try. Okay, so if you roll...
like, you don't want me to call my Sicilian uncle, do you? Do you? I hate to bother him.
If you beat, so if you beat double ones, it's awesome. Great, fantastic, crit success. If you lose to doubles, it's bad. The very, very first roll that I did in this game was just trying to make fucking breakfast, and I rolled against. I dropped double tens and set the kitchen on fire. It was great. And no, it isn't the kind of game where you roll to like dismount from your horse. I was trying to do a roll to give Mo a boost going into the game. It didn't work. So that's it. That's the dice roll. You roll, you try to beat the D10s, you're adding your stat, whichever stat's appropriate, and then your assets that you have, which you have like 3 starting out, may or may not affect those rolls. Please keep them in mind because nobody's GMing this thing, so keeping track of what assets might affect it helps. The one caveat.
So we're doing co-op, right?
Yeah, we're doing co-op because I have a guy. So the only other bit of mechanics for this is and the stats don't move around like they do in Masks. They pretty much are static, with the exception of your health, which you can occasionally roll, your spirit, which is soul hit points if you want, which you can occasionally roll, your supply, which is shared between everybody. Like if Andrew does something that lowers the supply, it lowers the supply for everybody because it's a shared resource, which you can occasionally need to roll. The ship's integrity, which is like the ship's hit points, which you might occasionally need to roll. And momentum, which you never roll, but slides up and down all the time. It goes down to -6, and it goes all the way up to +10. And when it resets, it goes back to a 2. And the reason that that's important, the reason it's useful, is when you can get it up to a reasonably good level, if you decide to, quote unquote, burn your momentum, you replace whatever you rolled with whatever your current momentum is.
Oh, wow.
So if you can get it up to a 10, it's awesome because you can beat anything that isn't a 10. And that is... go ahead.
Is momentum individual or shared?
It's individual. Everybody has their own momentum. Most stuff is individual. The only thing that's really shared, you can share quests. Mo and I have the same one kind of cooking right now. And you can share supply. And that's mostly, you can share, that's mostly it in terms of like a shared stat that we need to track. So the integrity of the ship and the supply, we usually track on like a shared character sheet. This is the character sheet for the ship. So that's how that works. That's basically all the mechanics. And any one of the stats has a little dice icon next to it that you can hit next to it. Or, and this is much more important, on the character sheet, and Frank, you may need, depending on how nicely the thing's going to play with you, every one of the moves that's in the move sheet and the moves tab on the sheet has a dice next to it that knows how it's supposed to be rolled. So if you click on...
Yeah, and I learned last week how best to flip back and forth between those two,
nice.
So that'll help. Yeah.
So like Face Danger, for example, I have it up on the screen right now. There's a roll button above the description of the move. And if you click on that, it'll say, okay, what stat are you using? And you just pick. And it says, do you have any bonuses? And you pick the bonuses. And then it does the roll for you and spits it out into the channel. So it keeps track of a ton of certainly the math, but also just how the moves work and what's a viable option and all that kind of good stuff. So it's pretty great.
I have no ears for 3 seconds.
No problem. So, Mo, help me out here. We were talking to Jackal, and Jackal said, I didn't have a chance to replay the video in this part of the conversation. Jackal said that
he had a runner that he was waiting to get the supplies from that crashed on this planet, if I remember correctly.
Like they didn't show up, and this was the last coordinates we had them at, so please go to these coordinates and figure out what the heck is going on and bring my stuff back.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, I like the guy back because, He's a good person, but he's not around Lisa's stuff.
So this is, first of all, so what we're doing is basically going to do this, and in the classic tradition of somebody new joins the campaign, so we decide to find them locked up in a jail cell inside the dungeon. You guys are the guys that we've been sent to recover.
I love it.
I'm 100%. It's just going to be me and Frank on the surface of the planet, and I'm just going to be like, hey, next time, account for the massive star in the way of our jump coordinates.
Yes.
Next time we say, let's go to Bolivia, let's actually, go to Bolivia.
And this is why we don't go that close to the gravity well, kids. So, Doc, do you have your stats already laid out? You do, don't you?
I do.
So just as a little bit of...
I'm assuming the higher number is the better, correct?
Yes, high is good.
Okay.
High is good.
I
And
hope so.
then, Mo, the last thing that happened to us with the ice plant was we got there, but then there were like people that had like dropped out of jump and were immediately like
Waiting for us.
ain't coming straight for us, right? Okay.
Because remember we talked to what was her name? Ostara?
Astara, yeah.
Star, yeah.
I got her up. Yeah.
And she apparently they were the ones who like coordinated something and are like working against us.
Yeah, you went and asked her for help, and she was like, "I'm sorry, I don't know anything about it." And as soon as you walked away, I was like, "Hey, Jackal got some people to send them after the ship. You need to get there before them or follow them or something." So yeah, that was the immediate thing. Okay. So we've got that going on, and like they're immediate. That was like how the episode ended, was us going, "Oh crap, what are we gonna do now?"
Mm-hmm.
And since Frank is still bopping around there, I will go to.
I'm yes.
No, it's all right.
I'm
It's
sorry.
good. You still need to allocate stats, so it's
Right.
stat
All
points.
I know
it's
so
just-
far is that social's my dumb stat.
there is no social skill.
Social how,
Heart,
though?
heart,
Whatever the
heart.
Got it.
Heart
Okay.
is your
the one
dump
where
stat.
I have to go meditate on a nebulae to get heart. So I figured that's what he needs the most. So that should be the worst thing.
Hang on, I gotta look at that move because you might be reading that funny. That sounds very strange to me. You need to redo your model for your person to make them like elongated so that like because they're not in heavy gravity. Stretch their skull.
I did. Oh, can I stretch the skull too?
I don't know. Can you?
I don't have the ability, but I did that with his arms. You might notice his fingertips are like to his knees, but
Nice.
he's still only 6 feet, but he's very much a work in progress. But yes, looking like those very elongated people from the integral trees.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Remember that? Yeah.
When you're so you're most you are most suited to life in the limitless void. When you're in space, increase your momentum reset by 1. When you're on planet side, high
Wait a
gravity,
minute.
lose momentum.
Do the spaceships and stations in this setting have gravitics?
They have gravity, but it's only when you're on planet side or high gravity. Like so, space stations are
Right.
fine
I'm just
for
saying,
you.
like how elongated do I want to make the guy? Was where I was going.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Skosh.
So
I recommend
so it can be assumed that my ship has like a treadmill or an exercise bike or whatever, so that bone density, supplements, and blah blah.
if you need a good book to read, try the first book of the Expanse series. They get into the people who grew up in the asteroid belt. The
Belters.
Yes.
That's a. Good,
I love everything about Belters from Transhuman Space, but
that might
when
be a good
Expanse
model.
started, it sadly was off my radar, and I have yet to pick it back up, and it's been on my to-do list for a very long time.
I'd say the first couple of books are great. Anyway, so.
Okay.
Do you think, Andrew,
Mm-hmm.
that you were in the sector when Jackal contacted you about this like kind of courier gig? Because you're not a courier. Like your deal, you're not like somebody who's specialized in moving stuff around.
Do I know what the goods are?
I don't know. Do you know what the goods are?
I mean, have you already established what the goods
No.
are? Okay, then yes, I know what the goods are.
What are they?
So no, it's just It's a plasma byproduct. So basically, it's like human
I was gonna say
plasma.
blood plasma or like
Yeah, like
energy
blood plasma. No, like blood plasma, but it's synthetically made, and he put a lot of effort and time, and he knows I know how to transport it safely, and so he's like, "It'll take longer, but it'll be worth it if it gets to me in one piece."
Nice. So Frank's character is kind of the person who's doing the move, but you're the babysitter.
Yeah.
Because I don't have. Can you hear me? You can't see my video, but you.
I can hear you.
Right?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yes, because I don't have courier, so I don't think that I would
No,
be
you
the best
don't.
person to.
Anybody can be a courier, and you know you
Oh,
got.
okay.
So
You're just better at it if you have the. Yeah. Okay.
So if you don't, we're about to break your ship. In fact, we have already broken your ship that you're currently on, and
Correct.
I kind of like the idea of like, what about this? Like, you've been stranded on a space station for a while now, Frank.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy that you have had some dealings with in the past is like, listen, I can give you a ship to fly around for a while,
Mm-hmm.
so you can see the world. But I need you to do some stuff for me while you're traversing the world, right?
I like it.
So, and then, so you guys wouldn't have known each other until this trip started, because like you're the one that is flying the ship, and Doc is the one babysitting the case of experimental blood plasma. And you guys wouldn't have known each other until the trip started.
This might help with the blood plasma, but I was thinking like if we're all adding a quirk to the ship because it's a shared thing.
Yeah. We're not all doing that. Just for the record,
well,
you
mind.
chose to do that.
Oh, okay.
Not everybody.
We all like to do that.
That's the third option is kind of whatever, and like so you did a ship thing. Andrew brought a pet.
Whoa. Sorry. Prior to that, not the character thing, but when it says like figure out what your ship is and how you got it and stuff. So I was just thinking that like the like
So we're not all on the same ship yet.
Okay.
So we can do that. We should absolutely do that. And you guys might have done some customization on this ship, but since it is starting out the game broken and crashed, that won't matter quite so much.
Cool. Cool. I'll say that.
So Andrew,
Yes.
you have a background vow. It's a big background vow or whatever.
Yes.
You can mutually swear another. We have. Shoot, what is our shared vow that you and I have, Mo?
Oh, is it on the ship?
I think no. Oh yeah, it is. Retrieve Jackal's assets from the uncharted world. Whatever those assets happen to be.
Yeah.
I think we get to mark at least one of those because we did make it to the world. We get to mark 1 point of progress on that because we
already have marked progress on it.
I didn't mark it on the ship. I must have. Maybe
we're see it on the ship.
I just did. I just hit the word. I just hit mark.
Okay.
That's why I thought. Yeah. So I feel that gets us one. That's fine. But so Andrew, we can do a little flashback here where you're like on the station. You know, you're on like a comms vid unit in some kind of like hotel, hostel kind of room thing on comms with Jackal.
Okay, so I had an interesting idea. So the planet that we're so I actually so the way that I was thinking is that he was Frank's character was coming to pick me up and then got crashed, and I was just sitting at the pickup zone with all the stuff, watching his ship crash, going, "Oh crap! All right, I gotta go," and walked over. So we had never actually even met until the crash. Because I was already on planet where the plasma was being developed.
Interesting.
And he just called me and said,
if Doc's first words are, that'll buff out.
We can absolutely, okay. So,
does that make sense?
No, it's fine. I mean, you don't have to check with me. All right, so we'll, okay. Let's talk about the agreement that you would have come to with Jackal, though. And for point of reference, if you look at the Roll20 is a picture of Jackal. Up on the, well, hang on. Maybe not. Let me show to players. There. It should pop up where you can click on it. And
I see.
Okay.
he's a smuggler whose curiosity is outweighed only by his loyalty to Ramshackle Station.
Okay.
The owner of the Starfall Lounge. So the agreement that you do with him, let's do this as the start of most of these things start out with like you swearing a vow. Okay.
Okay.
So looking at your character sheet, what's your stats? Oh, your heart isn't that bad. You go to moves and now I'm gonna do the summary thing here. Where is this at? Quest moves. The move in question is swear an iron vow. When you swear upon iron to complete a quest, and culturally, for some reason or another, the way these are sworn in our version of the Forge is you swear them on blades. Whatever your blade happens to look like or whatever. Mose scares me.
What? My throwing knife?
Because it did a thing. It did a kooky thing. Anyway.
It's as a treat.
As a treat, it does a little bit of magic. So when you swear upon iron to complete a quest, you write down your vow, and this vow is going to be like get the experimental blood plasma to Jackal. Really straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Write your vow and give it a rank, and then roll plus heart. And if you swear this vow to a connection, you get to add +1 as a bonus. And Jackal will be all of our shared connections. He's our connection there, so you get to add a +1 to it. So why don't you do that?
Okay. So go into
If you open
under
up-
quest moves, right?
No, yeah. If you open up your character sheet, it should be
Oh, and then roll.
open. Yeah, you hit the little roll button on swear an iron vow,
Okay.
and then you'll add a +1 when it asks you if there's a modifier.
Do I put in +1 or just one?
Just one. Just one.
Okay.
That's just like masks.
Okay. Oh.
Oh!
Oh.
God damn you guys!
Holy
You
shit.
guys are stealing all my good rolls all of a sudden already. All right, so that was a hit with a match. All right, on a strong hit, you are emboldened and it's clear what to do next. So you get to add 2 momentum. See, there's a bar across the top of your character sheet that shows momentum.
Yeah.
Change that to a +4.
Okay.
Which is good. You're emboldened. It's clear what you have to do next, which is easy. You just have to wait for the ship to show up.
Yeah.
On the strong hit, you're emboldened. Clear units, but you got an opportunity. Some kind of opportunity. I'm going to direct you to the oracles because I'm not sure. There's a whole bunch of oracles in here, but there is one for. There's spaceborne opportunities and planet side opportunities.
Okay. Okay.
So we could roll. I mean, I would say like I'm trying to brainstorm what that opportunity might be. Now there's the planet side opportunity thing, which I have open on your character sheet right now. Abandoned camp or vehicle, advanced warning of a threat, maybe. Foe reveals themselves or tips their hand, because the thing is, we've already established there's other groups that want to get their hand on whatever the hell this stuff is. Foe reveals themselves, advanced warning, friendly traveler crosses your path. That might be a good one. That maybe you could give, maybe you get some word that we're arriving, so you know who to send a beacon to or something like that. Interesting artifact or device. I have an idea for that. Opening to distract, escape, or avoid foes. Opening to get the drop on a foe. Plea for help from, let me see.
So I kind of like the because like the advanced warning is of the environmental threat.
Well, we could do environmental threat, or we could say it's, or yeah, it could be environmental threat because then we could use it against the people that don't know that it's coming.
And that's what I was thinking is like,
Nice.
because I've spent some time on this planet, I kind of know that there's a storm coming.
Mm-hmm.
I can literally just like if you guys like try and contact me, I can give you information on how to best come into the planet without hitting the storm. Whereas the other guys will run straight into the storm.
Cool. I love it. Is that cool?
Okay. Yeah, no, I love that. That's I like that a lot.
Okay, so you get the role, and we just need to get you back home. And then, so that's you like making the promise is like, actually see if you can get them to come in. If they're here in just the next couple of days, make sure they have this data and come in on this heading and so on and so forth. Cut to 2 days later when Frank's ship approaches, completely the wrong direction because he's fucking sightseeing and looking at stuff, and he totally gets like the backblast off of. There's supposed to be, what did you roll, Mo? Like a massive ice volcano?
Yes. Let me scroll up real quick. It was
some weird
ice world with
massive snowdrifts.
Yeah.
Sorry, supersized ice volcano. That's what it was.
So there's just refracted rainbows everywhere. This is amazing.
Yeah, massive snowdrifts.
I go blind.
There is a population, but it's on an orbital settlement, and you're not on that. You're down on the planet, like basically living without anybody really realize that you're there.
I'm doing research.
Yeah. Taiga is an ice world, marginal atmosphere, unhealthy to breathe. I'm going to say, like, I think what the deal is with the atmosphere is it's too cold. It will literally freeze your goddamn lungs if you have to breathe it for more than about an hour or so. Yeah. It's not that it's bad for you. It's that it's
so fucking cold.
That would be cool. There's an orbital settlement, a supersized ice volcano, massive snowdrifts, bountiful.
It's like me in Baltimore a couple of weeks ago. This is going to feel great for about 5 minutes.
Yep. Settlement name is Farpoint, and they handle salvage and automation. Interesting. Okay, so that was a flashback, and then there's a slight flash forward to getting the signal that the ship's coming in, and you're watching. It's like, no, not that. You're talking to the screen, like not wrong. You're going on the wrong. You're shouting at the screen. You're going at the wrong heading. And the supersized ice volcano that basically works like Old Faithful on like clockwork goes, and the blast gets the ship, and we're left with here, I'll move this, and then we've got this thing. This is about the upside is Frank did manage to land somewhat near your base. It's just this what the landing looked like.
I say all I do is I just go over like open comms for like the area.
Yeah.
You fucking idiot. I'm coming to get you.
And Frank's like, it'll buff out.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you see the picture, Frank?
Broken bones don't buff out.
I'm just setting my stats real quick. I finally found it, but I'll click back over in a second.
Yeah, it's the background for the Roll20 now.
Nice.
Okay. And then we get
your description of that scene helped me decide what my shadow was going to be. So that's awesome. Thank you.
And then we get the SpongeBob voiceover 3 days later.
Okay.
Do we need to know who this faction is that we're dealing with? Should we know?
Do we?
Do
I
we?
don't-
I was going to say
do
we
we
just
know?
have the contact.
I don't know if
right?
we know. Do we the players need to know?
Nah,
Oh, I see.
not yet.
Yeah, we can figure it out and play.
All right, there's a fact. I'm just mentioning it because there's a whole chain of faction oracles. If we want to, we can roll on that stuff to like find out. For now, we know that there's a faction that Jackal warned Doc about. We should at least have the name. Should we at least have the name that he warned you about?
Yeah, let's have the name. Yeah.
Even if we don't know anything about them?
Yeah, let's just do a name.
All right, so...
Nice. Holy crap, that's a great...
Isn't it just about the perfect picture?
That's really cool. Holy crap.
I put the
So
name...
this is the.
I love
like,
that
this
the
is perfect.
wind is so damn strong that there's like
Oh, yeah.
100 yards of perpendicular icicles.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Holy
Okay, so
crap.
in the Oracle, there is one for factions. Down. And the faction name template. We roll on
You
the
want to do it?
fact. You can. I'll just roll. I'll tell you. We'll each take a turn here. The faction name template is going to be affiliation of the legacy identity. So you roll on the affiliation tab first, which is just below it a couple. The consortium of the Andrew.
Where am I rolling?
It's on your character. Open up your character sheet
And go to Oracles.
and go to. Well, if I'm in Oracles, he should be in Oracles.
Yeah.
Affiliation of the, or it's a consortium of the, and then you roll the legacy one.
Legacy.
Legacy.
Okay.
Roll that guy.
How do I roll that?
dice.
The dice next to it.
Of the
Consortium of the Eben, and Frank, can you roll?
Maybe this is on the character sheet tab, right?
Yeah, you want to be on Doc's character sheet.
I believe I am.
And then you should see.
Oh wait, on Doc's character sheet. My bad.
Yeah.
Let's just. I did it for mine, so.
Or you can do it on either one, yeah.
Doc character sheet. Oh, dude, I love your.
This guy.
I love your fig, dude. It's
So
cool.
on the character sheet tab, it should.
Oracles, got it.
Yeah, and you want to roll identity, the identity one, which is about 2 down from the one that's lit up right now. I can highlight it.
Scrolling the whole damn thing and word of
Do you see identity under factions?
and a core character. Wait, factions?
Yeah, and you'll scroll down.
Oh, there
there
it
on the,
on that side.
Scroll.
Would this be better if my phone was in landscape?
I do not know.
I've got miscellaneous location themes.
Keep
Am I
going.
on the right thing? Precursor vaults, derelicts. Is there
Derelict.
more
Go
underneath
above
that?
derelicts. It's the one right before derelicts. Factions. I can roll it if it's tough to find. There's a lot
here
of.
I got it.
Okay.
Factions. Okay. Factions,
So you're looking
found
for identity
it.
underneath
Identity. Got it. All right.
and then click the
Bam.
dice next to it.
I did. Would anything happen?
Consortium of the Eben Skulls.
Oh,
I
that
mean-
doesn't sound bad at all. You know, I wouldn't. I think they're a perfectly legitimate above board business. I don't have anything bad to say about them, ever.
Are
Ever.
they pirates? Literally, because that's Evan means black.
Yep.
Yes, yes, I do.
Have you guys seen that Taiga is doing a new TV series called Our Flag Means Death, and it's a pirate comedy pirate show?
no.
Oh my god! If it has the same like mouthfeel as the vampires one, I can't wait for it. It's gonna be so good.
Anyway,
Oh my God.
Consortium of
Okay.
the Eben Skulls.
I think
Plural,
I think that
because that's important.
Better, yeah, plural.
yeah, I think one of the things that makes these ships terrifying is that like we all have the like genetic memory of what the pirate flag looks like with the black flag with some kind of, you know, but I think that their ships are gleaming white, so when they drop into orbit you instantly know that they're there, and then each one has a big black skull on it somewhere, but the ships there are like, we are here and we're out of bubblegum.
I like
Does
that.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all like shiny, like they don't look like pirate ships because they're like really
They're business.
clean and white.
Ship, shape, and Bristol fashion. Yep.
I have a whole series of white ships that I'm familiar with from Eve that I can drop pictures of when we need it.
Oh, nice.
We'll save that. All right, so basically, Jackal was like, "Listen, you may deal with some business in the system or whatever. If you see consortium of the Ebon Skull ships drop into orbit, keep your head down. My guys showing up are definitely, you're gonna know that it ain't them. It's gonna be clear, transponder and everything like that." And a little bit later, like you got a text message that was like, transponder code, consequences of their own actions.
And I literally just say that out loud to Johnny, who's walking with me in his own fur coat. I got him his own fur coat to be warm because he's my buddy. And I literally just look at my rock horn. God damn it.
What did Sean call it? TC-3OA or something like that? Yeah, TC-3OA, the consequences of our own actions. So
God damn it.
that was you guys crashing, and then the messages from Jackal and all this other kind of stuff. We're back up in space. We've got these shiny white. I'm gonna grab a couple. This one will be fine.
Do I make it to Frank's ship?
This would be like a day or two ago. So like you guys,
Frank, how badly are you hurt after that crash? How many bones am I setting today?
Well, here's the thing: when you got to look at this dude, and I need to think up a character name and a call sign quick, or I'm just going to be Frank for the rest of this game. I know.
Yes. There's oracles for the names too if you want to just randomly generate stuff.
I may do that, or I may bust out the.
I'm just going to call you Radar for now.
Stupendous book of actually that's really good.
I like it.
This is definitely, I could see him being the alt universe 4077 with Radar 2, just extremely gritty. So,
how's that ship work,
like,
Mo?
What?
How's this ship that I just dropped up on the screen look?
Oh, it's in the corner. Oh, let me take a look. Oh, God, scoot over. Oh, there we go. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's very businessy.
Right? I've got a couple other ones.
Sorry, I'm munching on some chocolate-covered beaver nuggets, so, you know.
Josh, what are you doing?
Beaver nuggets?
Okay, I'm just going to pause for just a second. Josh is hanging out in the chat, for those of you who want to say hi.
Josh.
Mr. Meehan is the guy behind 95% of the art in the Starforged book.
No shit.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the art is fantastic.
Very, very nice work, Josh. I am extremely impressed. That was, as it turns out, my first impression of you, and holy crap, you got skills.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And it was nice enough to say a couple weeks ago, he taught me the skills of levitation when he said that he sometimes listens to the Starforged podcast while he's doing the art for the game.
Aww.
And
that's
yeah,
wow.
That's cool.
I was levitating.
I need a cigarette.
So yeah. So for those of you keeping Frank, for those of you keeping track at home,
I like to keep my toes right on the edge of the lines and veils.
If you keep the if you're looking for the ship styles and stuff like that, this is the Sisters of Eve faction from Sisters of Eden, something like that. SOE. It's the SOE faction in Eve. They all do these white ships with a lot of like kind of circular rotatey bits around them and things like that. So this feels good. I
miss the big coffee table books from when Doyce and I were little. When you two were waiting to be born, that were like gorgeous, like artwork from like remember this from like the 70s and stuff?
I love it.
Remember those? Like whatever happened to God? Dude,
Eve did a bunch of them
for hours and just
Look at those. All right, we should do the thing. All right, so we're up in space. Mo brought us in. There's a couple of Ebon Skull ships that hail us like, oh, that's not great. That is not great news. I think
The fact that we're being hailed so they know we're here, that's the bad news.
well, just the fact that A, that they're here. B, that they're waiting for us, and C, that they seem to know what we're about because they immediately hail us. It's like, back off from the planet.
Turn around, if I remember correctly.
Okay,
Well,
Dingo,
all my stuff's down there.
Dingo's.
No, you. I think it's you two are on your. We're doing our scene where we're going to meet y'all. Yeah.
We're here to.
We're still up in space.
Yep, we're coming to.
We're getting ya.
And for the sake of Dingo's question just now, whoops.
Also, Frank, I love how we can see the ocean in the background. Thank you for putting that in there.
Good stuff.
That's why it took me a few extra minutes to set up, because I wanted to do that for you.
Thank you.
And so 3 of the names that we have here, up on the ship we have Buzzard or Barrack Savaja, and Solana Kruger or Sol, who has like the prettiest miniature I've seen. That hair is badass. Down on the planet in his little secret med base study lab thing, Doc Calgarin and the as yet to be named Frank, who may be using the call sign radar. Possibly. Who also has a picture here, which I will at least put up. And whatever Sean eventually makes up when he's like, hey, actually, I'm the one who's free this weekend and we can play.
Yeah, it's just going to be a rotating cast of
rotating cast of like whatever.
Where's
whoever
Radar?
shows.
He's in the fridge.
Yeah, Soul, no, 100%. Soul looks freaking awesome. Buzzard is my attempt to do nothing in Starforged except play different characters that were originally played by Fred Ward in one movie or another. So this is just that happening again. Okay, so what I would like to do is see if I can get us past these guys and down to the planet. Since you navigated us into this nonsense, I think it was. I want to take a swing at this.
Yeah, I think Soul's gonna look at Buzzard and be like, "Have you dealt with them before?"
Yeah, I have. But I have a stupid idea. So.
I mean,
this should be a really, and right about then, Andrew, do you want to help with? You're going to help with this by like sending us coordinates and all that kind of good stuff. You're muted.
Thank you for pointing that out. As you guys are coming in, like, and I get the transponder and everything, I'm literally just sending a message, and it just says, "Do not approach from these coordinates this direction."
Okay.
I was like, "You will explode. Please don't do it."
Okay. Well, that narrows down the approach vectors. Oh man, okay. Well, if I can't do we? Okay. Do you give us coordinates of like where we come here, but don't go past this area?
Yeah.
Is that the idea? Okay.
Well, it was basically like there's like a wall that you shouldn't come through, and it's like a 60-degree like
okay
area.
All right. I have a terrible idea.
You're gonna go through the storm anyway, aren't you?
No, I'm not gonna go through the storm anyway.
Please don't.
I'm not gonna go through the storm anyway. Come in and wave hi. God, you're short.
Meh.
Seriously, you're like a dwarf in there. Like,
hello.
Hello. Freaking gremlin. That's the oldest one.
How tall is she?
She's 5'3".
She's taller than me.
You're taller than Mo.
I'm 5'1".
She's
Hey,
Mo's
kid, the
5'1".
eldest.
You're taller than at least one person in this game. Nice job.
I miss
Action eyes. All right. So, okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna face danger. which is one of the kind of the core, like you're going to do something stupid and you need a move for it. It probably falls underneath face danger. When you attempt something risky or react to an imminent threat, envision your action and roll. I am going to go with speed, mobility, and well, no, because I want to trick them. Sort of. In a very action-y way. I want to try and lose them because I'm assuming they don't know where your base is. Otherwise, they would just come down there, right?
Yeah.
So
correct.
they don't know where the base is. So we need to lose them so they don't know where we are either. So I think I'm going to roll plus shadow. But if you would, Andrew, help us.
Yeah.
So there's a way you can do this, and it's called, if you look at the moves on your character sheet, aid your ally. Yeah, now that's not a roll that you roll exactly. Basically what it says is when you're doing aid your ally, roll this other move, but the benefits come to the person you're helping instead of you.
Gotcha.
What it boils down to. So you're going to roll secure an advantage, which is when when you make preparations, attempt to gain leverage, assess the situation, envision your action, and roll. If you're using speed, mobility, and agility, roll edge. Resolve, command, or sociability, heart. Strength, endurance, or aggression, you roll iron. Deception, stealth, or trickery, you roll shadow. Or expertise, focus, and observation, roll wits. I'm pretty sure it's that last one because you're like all about timing and angles and all that kind of stuff. So all you need to do is roll and add. You just roll and choose wits. Or expertise, focus, observation.
Oh. Wits. No bonuses there, correct?
No bonuses there. Nope. And that is a weak hit because you got your score there you got 7, tied one of the challenge dice, but you beat the other one. So that gives you a weak hit. So on a weak hit, you choose one of those two options, but they go to me.
Okay.
So
I'm going to give a +1 on the next move.
All right. Awesome. So I'll take that +1. I'll happily take that +1. So I am going to go over here to face danger. And I'm like, okay, so not those hitting. Okay, cool. Safest approach vector is 15 degrees. I set the approach vector to 45 degrees and gun it.
Sorry, are you taking over now?
Yeah. So I'm just getting in the other chair, like the other piloting. The planes have like two.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Apologies to whatever we're going to have to fix on the ship after what am I saying? I'm the one's going to have to do that anyway. So
You're not the one who's going to do that. I'm going to have to be the one that has to do that.
I fix stuff. I swear I fix, and I'm doing this like literally while I'm angling the ships down and gunning it. Like it's like I fix stuff.
She's just like.
And then we hit the first time we hit the atmosphere and almost skip off of it, and the piece goes flying by. See that? I'm gonna have to replace that. That's gonna be God, Jesus. So anyway, we're gonna
with money. You don't put your hands in the things.
Yes. Yeah. No. Yes.
I fix stuff. I swear I fix stuff sometimes. All right. So I'm gonna use deception, stealth, and trickery. I'm gonna add 1 for the modifier from Andrew. What are you dying about, Frank? Just all of this?
I don't know, man.
All right, and I roll. Okay.
You miss?
I missed with a 9 and a 10. All right, so now the best part about that is when you roll a 10.
I bet he didn't miss the planet.
When you I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to do a tangent.
I love this game.
I'm going to have to do a really quick tangent.
So much.
Back in college, we played Star Wars, the original West End game Star Wars D6 system. And one of the characters in there was Scrosito de Boba, Ip Sacranade, Ip Mafasola, Ip Darned, Imandobi. You can call me Bob. He was a Tusken Raider who was also a Jedi. He had exactly the lowest score you could possibly have on all the things under technical, one of which was flying a ship. And it turned out at one point that the only person who could land the ship that was available to do so was Bob. And everyone was very scared about this, and Bob got on the comms. Bob couldn't, he just squawked, and we had a translator, but the translator was very, very basic. So it was always like, Bob say, and then thing. And he goes on this long squawk for a little while. And then he pushed the thing, and it said, Bob say, Bob can land ship. Bob not have to fly ship. Bob just land ship. How hard can it be to hit planet? Bob not have to fly ship. Bob just have to land ship. So good. Anyway, so I do not want to fail, and I don't have enough momentum to do anything about this because my momentum is...
Can I help in? Can I jump in and help out?
There's literally... You can't rescue me from this, but I do have a move. So I'm going to do this thing.
Because I'm on the other... I'm ready to go with
You're
the other.
You're absolutely right there. You could help, but there's... You can't get me high. Like, the best you could do would be to give me another +1 on the roll, and that would only get me to an 8, and I'd still fail.
Yeah.
So what I can do though is I've got fugitive. You're hunted by a power or an authority. When you make a move, you may rely on your resourcefulness to improve the result to a strong hit. If you do, you mark a box above. Now that this particular card is broken, I have logged a report of this on GitHub, so it should get fixed pretty soon. But there's supposed to be like 3 checkboxes up here. And the deal is every time you check a box, you automatically get a strong hit. But when you get 3, whoever's chasing you catches up with you, and that has to be dealt with immediately before you can move along. Right? So, yeah, it's great. I'm really good at running away from stuff and avoiding for a while until I'm not. So I'm gonna now, since this thing is broken, I'm gonna go over. I made a progress chart just over on my sheet here to track my fugitive. I'm gonna mark one of my fugitive tracks, and when this thing gets up to 9, then I know that I'm tapped out. But I'm going to just be good at evasive maneuvers with the fugitive thing and do that. Unfortunately, some of the moves I'm going to do are going to be something that people would recognize. Why are you guys dying?
While you're reading, I was like, evasive maneuvers.
Fuck you! Anyway, all right. Okay,
you just send a message to Doc, like it's just a video message of him, and then back to you, and you're like,
yeah,
and that's it. And you've never met me.
Fugitive was one of my favorite assets, honestly, and I've got it on 2 of my characters that I've used. And I wasn't going to put it on this character, and then Mo was like, "No, that one's awesome. You should totally do that." And I have some really good reasons for why.
You're like, okay.
So what you get a shot of, essentially, what you get a sample of is Buzzard flying and demonstrating some skill that really would quickly pick him out as being somebody who's been trained in flying fighter craft. Like, it is hardcore, stupid 12 Gs make you pass out kind of maneuvers. The problem is consequences of your own actions. Well, the problem is that the consequences of your own actions are essentially as a multi-purpose long range like cargo transport and like exploration vehicle. It is not a fighter craft. It's not meant for this kind of stuff. I'm put in mind of Bruce Willis's character in The Fifth Element flying a taxi like he used to fly his fighter ships. You know, that kind of a thing. He's misusing the equipment. So basically, I take the ship down at like a really, really way too steep angle into the atmosphere, almost skip off of it, and I solve this problem by angling even steeper. Front end of the ship goes red, cherry red almost immediately. Then a little bit past cherry red, then things start coming off, and I move the angle slightly. But basically, it doesn't seem to be that I'm really paying that much attention to my angle of descent, or really where I'm coming down on the planet at all. The thing that it reminds you of, Saul, more than anything, is when I'm cooking and I keep moving the skillet to try to move the heat around. No, when I'm moving the heat around on the skillet to make sure that the skillet is equally hot in all locations, I'm like moving the ship around, like trying to cook the bottom evenly, which is the weirdest way to approach flying that you've ever seen. But it's like, okay, all right, no, yeah. And I'm looking at the damage chart, like the damage readout on the ship. I'm like, okay, yeah, the heat is redlined pretty much everywhere. This is gonna work. Yeah, this will work out
I think
really,
she's gonna
really
yell
nice.
at you. She's like, "Was this in your books?" She's like clinging on to like the chair.
It is a perfectly useful book that got us through an entire exodus from a whole freaking galaxy, and it served many generations. I feel like I'm missing a key ingredient on that. Can we just focus on the thing?
You're the one driving. You focus.
So I'm coming down really, and partly what it gets us is a little bit of distance from their ships because I'm coming down at a extremely unsafe.
Oh yeah.
Ludicrous speed.
An unsafe angle and all that kind of stuff. So they're having to circle around, which is also not for nothing, focusing them back towards Old Faithful, and possibly.
I really hope your contractor didn't cut costs on the ceramic adhesives.
Yeah. So
I'll have to deal with that.
all right. So the other thing that Mo rolled for the planet was big massive snow mountains or snow peaks or snow dunes or something like that.
I think something like that. Let me scroll
Something
back
like
up.
that. Yeah, I have to scroll back up a little bit. So basically what I do is I come down really, really crazy hard. Snow drifts. And I come down really, really fast, get down near the planet as fast as I can, as hard as I can, with as much friction as possible, and as much ahead of these guys as I can. I don't try to get too close to wherever Doc's base is at. And then I'm looking for one of those big, two gigantic, mile-high peaks of snow with a big snow valley in between. And then I land. Like, just as quick as I can. I pull in quick, like a big combat landing, and pull in quick and just settle.
And then it melts.
And it melts down into the and I melt down into the snow because I'm so fucking hot right now that I melt down in and the snow just kind of collapses in over top of us, and then we just okay, now wait. And the ship is like creaking and popping, like, because the temperature's changing so fast, and we're just listening to all that. And she's like, "That's not good." I was like, "Shit, I'm listening above, not the ship. The ship will be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine." And we just let it go past. And as they're like starting to scan or something like that, about that same time, like that's when Old Faithful go off, so they immediately have to like bail out of the whole area to get away from the blast that comes.
And she loud too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She's loud.
And I think it's Old Faithful that ejects hard enough that it puts shit.
It almost sounds like glass falling, like,
which is one of the things that keeps the damn
like
planet
it just like
so
sort of
cold.
like does that shimmery sort of like, but it's like really loud.
Yeah. Well, I like the idea that Frank called this out on this picture, like the icicles going at an angle. That's probably left over from some of the blasts, right? Because they get the weather that direction for like the blast from Old Faithful that direction, and it makes these big horizontal icicles and stuff like that. But we're under the snow. It should be fine. It'll be fine. I'm sure it's fine. So, yeah, for those who might report back or look at that video and stuff like that, you're looking at somebody whoever's piloting that ship, that's a fighter pilot. That's somebody who's fought in
that's
battles and
a
stuff.
couple of extremely aggressive ways to reduce delta V.
Well, and the reason I'm mentioning that bit is because I'm one step closer to somebody like finding me. So the clues of who I might be needs to get out there.
Got it.
Okay.
Do you actually?
I think once they settled and like things going on, we pause and kind of quiet. I think Soul's just gonna cross her arms over her chest and just like sort of like lean back in the chair and be like, "That wasn't bad."
Yep. I'm gonna go check and make sure everything's okay. Wait about 20 minutes, and then you want to take us in the rest of the way?
Yeah. Do you know what to look for, or do you, or...
I had this ship before you had, and it's still flying. I know how to fix my own ship. Frickin'. Now, I will tell you what it's like to fix my fixes.
Duct tape and wishes.
I grew up on a farm. I grew up with 2 generations of farmers that preceded me, and occasionally my dad would have to fix stuff that my grandpa had fixed. Who was around? He was young when I was born. I think my granddad was only like 44 when I was born, so he was not that old when I was a kid. And I remember one time very specifically when my dad was doing something on the tractor, and apparently the crankcase on the underside of the tractor, which is a cast iron piece, it's all one piece and it's cast, had cracked previously before my dad had been involved in any of this stuff. And what my granddad had done to fix this was he had taken a plow blade it's not a plow blade, but it was a long, lengthy piece of plow blade. And he'd heated it up so it was bent in the appropriate shape to fit along this thing. And then he had welded it in place over the crack.
Slapped it on top.
Essentially,
and I'm guessing without draining the case.
Oh well, I don't even know if he did that. That's not relevant.
Smoking a cigarette. Your
But
granddad and my grandpa are definitely cut from the same cloth.
But essentially, like, you don't do this because cast iron, it's only ever going to be as strong as the weld, right? First of all. Secondly, this is a different kind of iron. It should, but he put it in there and
chunk of leaf spring or something.
Yeah, and he basically just bead welded it all the way around this plate and welded the plate over top of this crack, and then he put the whole thing back into place. And my dad had noticed this while he was working on something else. When did you do this? And he mentioned the year, and it was like about 5 years before I'd been born. And my dad was like,
1927.
And my dad, who'd gone to like college for agricultural sciences and had been in metal shop and stuff in high school, I was like, you can't do that. You can't. It doesn't work. Well, I did it 10 years, and he looked at it. He looked at it for a little while. Looked at my dad. And goes, "Well, I did it 10 years ago, and it looks like it's still working." So, and then he just walked away. So, that's probably the kind of stuff that you find in the ship. Is like, you can't fix it like that. I'm like, I fixed it, and it's like that. So, I guess I can. It worked.
Soul is just like Soul. So we decided that Soul and Buzzard have been like working and living together for the last like, was it 2 years, 3 years?
Three, yeah,
3 years. And like, so anytime, like, it's even to this day, she still finds stuff, and she's like, "How? What is this?
We should have exploded." Whenever we turn on
inspection.
Inspection's a thing that happens to other people.
I'm getting the impression that we can have a little magic as a treat is a very important aspect of this world.
Buzzard knows things. Anyway,
oh my god.
So, oh god, my dogs are losing their mind. So I think getting over to them without the ebon skulls. I keep wanting to say black skulls before the ebon skulls finding us is that the next big hurdle to get over? Is just getting over to this base without being detected?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you want to radio Doc and try to establish a comm link beforehand and like make
Before we go into this,
mm-hmm.
I'm assuming we've all met before, correct? Based on what we had talked about.
You're assuming what?
We've all met before, like, so I know Buzzard and Doc have met and worked to, like, I feel like we've worked together. I feel like I patched you up many times.
I mean, if you guys want to, I don't know if we've met before. We might have, or our mutual knowledge might just be the fact that we have all worked with Jackal in the past, and this might be the first time we've ever worked together.
Yeah, you might know of each other, but you probably haven't met each other, you know?
Well, and that's why I'm asking, because that's gonna change how he interacts with you. So, like,
yeah, and to your point of how messed up is radar,
yeah,
like if you look at the fig and his
maybe
right arm,
Soul's been around for a bit.
I want
like,
you to have opinions about
she's
who did the sutures on all the scars.
Like an outlaw, so maybe she's come to like some off-world doctor to get patched up occasionally.
I have a question for Mo.
Yeah.
Or rather, specifically, well, actually, it is specifically for Mo. Can you hear Frank?
No.
Okay, that would. No, I can hear you. I think Mo
can't. I can't see his camera either.
Yeah, I can't see his camera, but I can hear him.
I can see his camera.
You guys are talking at the same time most of the time.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Can you not hear Mo, Frank?
I had a Wi-Fi hiccup earlier, and I don't think everything came back. Maybe I should restart.
Yeah, try and leave.
Thanks, Josh. Great to have you swing by.
I'll come back. Give me a second.
Josh. Same.
If they don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. I like that.
Yeah, because I mean, if Soul's been around and if she's kind of a fighter, then it would make sense for like me to have pulled a slug out of her every once in a while.
Yeah, if
I'm working for Jackal.
If you haven't been like out here on this ice world for like years, just working on this thing. No, this has been like a project that you were out on just to get away from everybody, and then like he found this little bolt hole for you to do the lab work on, normally you're out in the world. Yeah, we could have. I mean, if we haven't done on missions and stuff, at least we could have crossed paths.
All right, Frank.
In the past.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay.
Fix it.
So I feel like I've definitely pulled a slug out of Soul before. Just,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She's like, yeah, Doc. It's this shoulder this time. I didn't get the same one.
Now we got a matching set.
And for the sake of clarity, if the question comes up as to whether or not you would have ever dealt with Buzzard in the past, I direct you back to hang on. We're gonna reload this into the same Ironsworn chat down here at the bottom. This is how Buzzard conducts his disagreements with people.
The punching?
Is this video here? So just take a quick minute here and take a look at how Buzzard conducts his
With his fist.
his disagreements.
Okay. So I have ideas. This is gonna be great. Okay, so
for some reason that picture didn't go.
Do you video message like do you video call or like just radio?
I think since we're short range, I don't know if Soul knows that you're here though. That's the question. I don't think she's like realizes that you're the one that we're picking up.
Oh yeah, I don't know that you're the one picking me up.
Yeah, so I think it's video. So she's like, okay, yeah, I'll get it. You go handle the camera stuff. You know, go handle the fix whatever it is. And she's like pulling it up, and she's like, it's like FaceTime almost, but on computer. And she's just like setting things up. Yeah,
it's Johnny the Rockhorn. He's the one who is like.
That's a Rockhorn, by the way.
It's like a dog rhino. That's what I've learned.
Okay.
I will find a picture. If you look, actually, just do a search.
It's in the rule book.
Yeah, open up the rule book and do a search for Rockhorn.
Okay, let me find. Okay.
It's a little dog rhino.
It's a rhino. Yeah, it's like a space rhino about the size of a
large dog.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
Oh, can't spell. I don't see a photo.
Really?
So, in the rule book, I know it's in the actual like.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it's like on the chapter because someone's walking the corner.
Yep.
Oh, look at that little buddy. Oh.
Yep. His name's Johnny.
Johnny.
So you just see Johnny's face in the camera because I have it turned around incorrectly because I'm an old man.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Soul's met Johnny, and she's like, "Wait a second, that Rockhorn looks familiar."
I'm gonna turn the camera around. Soul?
Doc?
What are you? Are you picking me up?
Are you the one stuck here?
Define stuck.
We were coming to pick up someone who crashed on the planet.
I didn't crash on the planet. This dummy did, and I'm gonna point the camera to radar.
Nice. Are we going with radar as the call sign? Is that what we settled on?
Yes, I love it. I'm still fussing around with a for a given name, but radar is canon.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
You'd be like, this idiot crashed.
I realized I was still watching the animation when I was trying to give you my reaction.
It's a good. I looked at that. I don't remember even how I stumbled across it, but I saw it and I was like, oh my god, that's how Buzzard fights.
He basically sent it to me like he's like, this is Buzzard, right?
It's Buzzard right now. All right.
Love it.
That's all.
Who's is that? Is okay. So that's the one who.
He was supposed to pick me up, but it blew up. His ship blew up. So
did he hit Old Faithful?
Yes,
we suffered a mild case of severe deceleration trauma.
Mild case of severe. That's not how sentences work.
He still has a concussion. Clearly, you can tell he still has a concussion.
All right. So where are y'all on this planet? Can you send coordinates?
Yeah. Where's your what are your coordinates? Because it might be easier for us to walk to you than you to try and fly to us.
I don't know if we're close. We can find
I
out.
don't think
though.
we're close.
We
We
can
can
find
try.
out though.
Is General the Oracle? Is that...
Wait, do we?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, there's an oracle for that.
There is? I was just asking.
No, there's an oracle. Hang on.
We both have broken ships right now, right?
No, ours is fine. We're just under snow.
Fine.
We're fine. We're
Fine.
totally fine. We're down 1 integrity, and that's not related to what I just did. All right. There isn't. Well, there's a very generic oracle. Mo, if you look at the character sheet under oracles,
Ask the Oracle.
right at the top, ask the oracle. You can say like, how likely do you think it is that we're relatively close? And if it's unlikely, we roll on that. And if it's 50-50, if it's likely, whatever. So
I vote unlikely given your.
Yeah, I think it's probably unlikely, is what I would guess.
84%, so no.
Yep. No, we are not close. We're not really within walking distance of the thing. That's
Okay.
fine. That's fine.
Our ship's fine. We can
Well-
come to you. Just drop your coordinates to us.
And
Okay.
the upside to putting our ships near one another is obvious.
Well, your ship is done. We're just.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
But it's full of spare parts.
So I think again.
One gigantic spare part smorgasbord.
I think again, it's probably face danger, and it's probably shadow. Mo, how's your shadow?
My shadow is... Oh god, where's my stuff? Where's my stuff?
I know where mine is.
Summary?
Are you sneaky? Yeah, summary.
1.
Okay.
Yes! Yes, for not being sneaky.
That's okay. I can help. I can help.
I'm glad somebody
I can help. I can help.
Yeah?
Yeah. I can help.
So I'm going to give you guys coordinates because there's no real landing pad. There's just kind of an area that you can land in easily near the entrance to my...
As we have learned already, we will... Gravity will find its way, and we'll land somehow.
Well, we're landing.
And I think if Buzzard's coming back, that's when she's like looking back at Buzzard.
Landing ain't the problem. Coming down is easy. Anyway, all right. So what I will do, hopefully, is I will assist, and I'm going to assist.
Are you in my character sheet?
Huh?
Are you in my character sheet?
Oh, I mean, you're sorry. I mean, I thought I was in mine. Sorry, my bad.
Okay.
Get on my character sheet. Keep moving stuff.
Get out of my shit.
Sorry, I always forget that it like moves it for everybody when it moves it for anybody. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna get in mine. Gonna do my move, and I'm gonna do secure an advantage, or I'm gonna do aid your ally, but I'm gonna do secure an advantage. There's an asset you can get called loyalist or something like that, where you're so good at helping people that you can actually buff yourself up when you buff other folks up, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so I'm going to secure an advantage, and I'm going to do it with deception, stealth, or trickery, because I am going to add, like, okay, so like snow's going to be super reflective. We're going to make a lot of noise, but if we can spread it out over a large area, they're not going to probably be able to figure out where we're at. And
The spaceship equivalent of a snowshoe.
yep. So
That's right, Dingo. If you're creative, everywhere is a landing pad.
and that is a weak hit.
That's not
That's
bad.
fine. What's your momentum at?
Mine is at a +4.
So I can do one of two things here. I can either give you a +1 on your move, where you're rolling your shadow, you're only adding 1, and give you a +1 on your move. Or I can get your momentum up to a 6. So if your roll is poor, but there's some, like if you've got one of the opposition dice aren't ridiculous, that might get you past. I don't know, which would you rather? I'll leave it as a.
Let's go with momentum.
All right, so take your momentum up to a 6.
We'll do.
As I'm giving you kind of things here, so we're moving along, and then you just roll your face danger with shadow. As we're trying to do with this, and I'm sort of half in, half out of my seat, deciding if I need to run back to the turrets or whatever for whatever's happening next.
And then no modifier.
The question isn't whether or not we get there. The question is whether or not we get there without them figuring it out.
Hey, weak hit.
Weak hit. So on a weak hit for face danger, you succeed but not without cost. Make a suffer move. Okay, so very specific. Yeah, there's actually a whole set of moves in here that are just labeled suffer moves. So we can lose a little momentum. It's only -1. We can lose momentum. Basically, we can do momentum, harm, stress. The ship can take damage.
I think the ship did take some damage in the in your landing.
You think so? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it did heat up like you were cooking, and then settled really quickly in the ice, so that probably caused something.
Yeah, so actually just when we get going right away, like some stuff that was like sort of adhered, and it's not like a normal ice planet. It's so cold, right? It's crazy. Like, so
it's like when you take boiling water and like you throw it outside and it just instantly freezes.
Yeah, I have this idea that like
we're going to learn about sublimation.
Like this super volcano is like a regular volcano, except the magma is like liquid nitrogen or something like that, like something crazy like that, where it's like
it's a geyser of liquid nitrogen rather than like an actual volcano.
Well, really, the only difference between a geyser and a volcano is the liquid that's being spewed out of it. When you think of it,
and there's also a case to be made that water is lava, because ice is a mineral. So
sure. Which water is weird though. That's a bad example. Anyway, all right. So withstand damage when your vehicle faces a damaging situation or environment. All right. So you suffer 1 integrity for minor damage. All right. So the ship. I'm going to go back to the actual ship sheet. Takes a little bit of damage as we're taking off, and I hear the creaks and pops. And I'm like, that's probably not. Oh, that ain't good.
That sounded important.
That sounded, yeah. So the integrity on the ship actually goes down to a 3, which I don't love. It's like, you know what? You're good. I'm gonna go back and see what I can do back there.
Okay.
And just see if we can do a little bit of adjustments and tweaks and stuff. Maybe it's not as bad as it looks. You hear me, baby?
Don't be solderite iron.
Don't be as bad as it looks. So what you can immediately do, basically, or do in the process, is withstand that damage a little bit. There's a move for it. You don't have to do this every single time, but you can choose to. You can, when it faces a damaging thing, suffer the integrity. If your integrity is 0, which it isn't, or we choose to resist the damage, roll plus the integrity of the ship. On the strong hit, you choose 1. On a weak hit, you can lose momentum in exchange for some integrity. Otherwise, you perhaps on a miss. It's worse than we thought.
So, do I add anything to like modifiers or anything?
No, you don't roll. Unless I don't know if I don't think I have any asses for fixing stuff. I don't. Do you have gearhead?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
What does gearhead do? What's the stat of the thing?
When you make a move to craft, repair, or repurpose or modify equipment or technology, add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit.
God dang it, you are better at this than I am.
I am.
Damn you.
That's why you have me here with you.
That's going to come in handy.
That's going to. Well, we can worry about that when we can worry about that when we're actually fixing it. This is just like me checking to see whether it's actually that bad. So gearhead wouldn't apply just yet. So just roll. Now here's the thing: we don't have to roll withstand damage. If we roll any kind of hit, we can push the. It wasn't as bad as it looks. It's actually still at a 4. Blah blah blah. But if we fail, it's actually worse than that, and we've got. So we don't have to. We only have to when it's a 0. Do we want to? It's at a 3.
Nah, we're good. It's fine.
You're just gonna leave it?
In the words of George Carlin, you have to won.
All right, I think I see what's wrong. I could work on it right now. Do we want to mess with it while we're in the middle of flying?
No. I'll handle it when we get back.
I've done this while we've been flying before. I'm sure it'll be fine. No? I'm hearing a lot of no off of that silence on the comms there, so. No? All right. Fine, I'll come back up. Try not to break any more of my ship.
You're the one who did it in the first place. This is all you.
If Ocean's 11 was a science fiction movie, that little chunk of dialogue would have been.
I love it.
So, Are we getting
Buzzard
there?
breaks his own ship. Also Buzzard. Stop breaking my ship! Yeah, that gets us that gets us there with damage. Like the cost that we're paying is damage to the ship, but we do get there without anybody knowing stuff, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
Anybody picking us up? So we come in.
Yeah.
So what's the deal, Andrew? Is it like a cave that we can park in, or you don't have a landing pad, but we have a spot? What is the deal?
There's just like a little like flat area because there's a cliff, and so the way that the wind goes is it's literally two cliffs next to each other. So like the snow.
We've got
blows
like
over
the ice.
top.
We've got like the icicle overhang that kind of like.
Yeah, so you can just come in and like land, and then like literally there's just like a door cut into the side of the ice.
We're in a little lee.
So we just got to make sure that we don't
No.
make any of the ship-sized icicles fall down on us.
I mean, good luck with that.
That sounds really. That
I've
sounds
shot them
super
before,
great.
and they're fine.
Why would you have shot at them? All right.
Why would I not? Just trying to clear them out. Didn't work.
I like Dingo's thing when we land. Like, there's a snowman out there on the pad that we just crush as we land down there because like Doc got bored.
Yeah,
It's because somebody was waiting here for a while, right? So there's definitely snow art.
It's a snowman, but it's got like the landing flags, like the
Yes. He's got the two little batons.
and we just
His hat is a windsock. Yeah.
love it.
Radar. I think they're here. I can hear the
Sounds-
ship outside. Get your ship. We're going.
I just need my C wrench. I gotta unbolt the sensor array. I can't leave that here.
Did you not get that when we left your ship like 2 days ago?
Oh, you would have you can extract. You could have extracted that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought that. Okay,
That's
sorry,
like
sorry.
a that's
Yes,
like a custom. You would have absolutely rescued that from your ship or something.
I'm taking that with me, and it's.
Okay.
I have the travois with which I'm dragging it to your little cave is two icicles, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Your advanced sensors scan the paths ahead to help spot the element.
Is that a travois or a travois? I don't even know.
travois?
Yeah.
According to all of my Native American studies when I was in high school in South Dakota, travois.
Same.
All right. So, retrieve Jackal's access from an archer. Does it, Mo? Do you think this is a tick of progress?
Oh yeah, we've got the people.
We got the people, and it's
We have
probably
the assets.
we have the assets.
So because I made that vow to deliver the goods, does that mean I make a tick as well?
I think you and Frank both mark a tick on deliver the goods to Jackal. Like advance that. That should that one should just be troublesome.
Would one of y'all mind?
I'll do it
because this is super easy.
Please. Thank you.
Yeah, troublesome is not troublesome is a warm-up move or warm-up quest, but the flip side of that is it doesn't.
Yeah.
Also, FYI, I have a hard out in 50 minutes.
Okay, no problem. So vow is get Doc to Ramshackle Station. Ramshackle Station. And we can mark on that. I'm just putting that under Radar's thing. Andrew, you already wrote yours up, right?
I deliver the synthetic plasma safely to Jackal.
Yeah, and when you do an event, all you have to do, you can click on the individual boxes and choose like partial, but honestly, the mark button behaves properly. If you have if you mark on an epic, it just does one little hash through the box. If you mark on, I just want to point out that quest in Ravenloft against Strahd took that campaign went so long that one hash at a time I had filled in 6 boxes. That's a lot of
epic. How many times do you have to slash epic for a box to go away?
You had to do four hashes on each box to fill in a box, and I'd filled in 6. Doing various stuff.
I inferred from conversation earlier that the difficulty level of the goal determines how many hashes a box gets, correct?
It takes a lot more work. Like a troublesome will fill in like, you'd be pretty close to full in like having done 3 things. 3 things on an epic won't even fill in 1 box. So
Yep.
That's if you're even working on it very much. Anyway, all right. So Oh, we're picking up Doc. Hey, Doc.
Was the consequences of our own actions. God, I should have known that was you. Like, I'm just gonna walk in.
I wanted in a bed. It already had the name. Now the thing is,
It was an extremely pretty, like, meteor arc, though. It was just gorgeous. Thank you.
Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
good. That was an
Yeah,
accident.
I was a
Hello,
little
him.
worried, to be honest. I wasn't sure you were going to clear Atmo.
Now the thing, Mo, I'm telling this primarily for Soul's benefit, is every single time anybody comments on the ship and Buzzard explains how he got it, it is different every time. It is totally Sean's thing with, like, I'm from a different high school every time. He tells a different story. He has a different flippant answer for how he got the ship every single time.
Okay, so
I love the idea that somewhere there's a journal with all of those.
when I'm walking up, though,
Whole thing of notes.
I'm gonna stop next to Buzzard after realizing that they had come down in that meteor crash landing, and I'd be like, "Look at me, eyes front, follow my finger."
I'm fine. Doc,
No,
Doc,
you.
I know what a concussion feels like. I mean, none
I'm not
better.
worried about a concussion. I'm worried about more brain damage than you've already suffered in your life from G forces.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Cranial damage.
Okay. So what's our next thing? What do we need to do next?
We gotta bring people back to Ramshackle.
Well, we got to get up. I think we got to get up and away from the planet, right? Like, is that our next, like, hurdle to get over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is just getting up and away from the planet? Cool.
And I think when Raider comes off, I think Soul's gonna, like, get the pilot of the other ship. Sorry to hear you're lost about it.
Not anymore.
The other ship's a loss. That's a write-off for Jackal.
Yeah. I'm glad you survived it. And I think she's gonna, like, do, like, one of those pats on the shoulders. It's a little rougher than, like, you. Well,
yeah, he's a skinny little. Can't hug him. You get a paper cut.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, everybody, Doc is 5'2".
So
Doc's
Doc's
a little guy.
I like that, though. Like a little just pissed off fire plug of a doctor. Like, just
with a cigar,
scowling up at people. Yeah. I mean, let's just respect the idea of a very advanced civilization whose medical doctors still smoke, and they're like the only ones in the setting that still do. Fuck it, I know what the risks are. You know.
I know. Hey, I've already got the down payment on a new set of artificial lungs ready to go.
My daughter freaks out every time she
picture-
sees somebody smoking the show anymore. It's funny.
She must hate. Well, she old enough to have watched the freaking Madison Avenue show with
No.
Yeah, thank you.
My 8-year-old literally didn't know what they were doing. Like, what is that? What are they holding? Why is it? Is that on fire? Like,
that is amazing.
Yeah. Anyway,
I can picture Doc checking Radar's reflexes by just doing a straight arm punch right into his knee.
I do have like an augmented arm. I just straight up flick it.
I
flick it with the metal.
Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah. I just think, yes, it's the height differential. You're so short, and I grew up in no gravity, so it's just like, bam! Ow! Quit it.
Okay, so for getting off the planet, how complicated do we want to make this thing? Do we want to just do it as a face danger and see if the dice decide that things are going to be more complicated than that?
I think that's fine. Yeah.
That's because there's a couple. I mean, obviously, fighting is obviously much more complicated than that. But there's this thing called the scene challenge where you're sort of running two opposing clocks, and it's like, can we get the good clock filled up before the bad clock fills up, kind of a thing.
I like that idea.
I don't think we needed to make it for this. I don't think we need to make it that complicated for this.
Maybe we need to do that.
Here's the thing. Does installing the sensor array, is that something that just happens in the background because I have the card?
You can be doing it, yeah. You can be working on it while working.
My thought was that sensor array would let us know when the geysers are going to hit again.
Oh, you like use it for cover?
And well, not for cover, just we would, or we have to time it just right so that there's the right amount of cover, but the also like the optimal amount of detritus in the air so that we can safely get out of the gravity well. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys like the idea of the geyser, it's what's helping keep the planet's albedo so high, so that it's like a loop of what's keeping the damn planet so cold, because that stuff's always going up and then slowly settling down. And so we've got to, so it's cover, but we also have to get out safely. And I don't know, that could be one part of the timer.
There's a lot of different, well, we don't need to worry about the timerness, but I'm looking at the assets, souls, assets.
If we're going for maximum grit, stop giving me ideas.
Okay. Yeah, we don't need to go that gritty. So soul is a navigator. Okay, so here's the thing. All right. I'll get us out of the well.
Dingo!
What did Dingo say?
The planet's libido is high.
Wrong libido.
Oh, libido, right.
Okay, so I'll get us out of the gravity well.
Dingo's has the greatest misinterpretations from a maximum comic effect of things I've said over many. It's great.
Okay.
Dingo said that, and I had a... Okay, move on. All right. Go away.
So when we get out of here, Sol will be the one plotting the set of course when we get out of here, because we'll talk about that in a second, but that's letting us set a course. I can get us up out of here. Frank has...
I can set a course?
Yeah, we don't have... Because the thing, we used Undertake an Expedition getting out of here because we didn't have a route. We've got a route now because we can go back the way we came. You can just set a course, which is better, right? But we don't need to...
I have Navigator. So.
Yeah, I know, you have Navigator.
Going out the way we came in would actually be very optimal on account of...
Right.
You came into the gravity well super high.
But that's for once we get out into space. I can get us off the planet. That'll be like hurdle number 1. Frank has given a really easy way for him to roll to assist on me getting out of here, because he's going to have these sensor readings and stuff like that for anything.
Sweet.
If you want, Doc can also help if you can think of between the two of you, like you knowing the patterns of the planet and all that kind of nonsense, plus radar's sensor data, you guys can both roll to assist. There's no reason not to.
I love
Except if we miss, we could cause problems.
Well, no, and that's an interesting thing about you can cause problems. You could theoretically cause problems. Mostly you'll cause problems for yourself. It doesn't usually roll over into the person that you're trying to help. You don't typically I'm going to help you open the door D&D style and actually make it harder to get the door open. That doesn't always happen. You might complicate the scene.
I'm going to open the door open with dynamite, but I accidentally stand close to it. It's open for you now, however, I have a singed arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example.
That hits way too close to Doc, okay?
Yeah, personally, because you're missing an arm.
And an eye, and most of the skin on his right side.
Okay, so Frank, do you want to roll, or do you want somebody else to roll the actual...
It'll take me way too flippin' long. I would love it if somebody wouldn't mind rolling that for me.
Okay, what is your... I'm just checking your stats here to see if you're... Oh, yeah, your wits are a 3. That's fantastic. So you would roll... I'm just going to click on it. You roll Secure and Advantage with Expertise, Focus, and Observation, and no modifiers. And that is a weak hit, which is fine. Okay, so
thank you.
That can give me either +2 momentum, and my momentum is in the toilet right now, which I need to do something about, but I'm not going to do anything about right now. And a +1, either that or a +1 on the next move. I choose +1 on the next move because we really want this whole stealthy thing to work out. So I'll take a +1 on the next move. Now, Doc, do you want to also...
Yeah, I'm going to help as well.
Okay, so I think it's the same thing. I think you're also just rolling Secure and Advantage on wits, unless you have, unless you want to do Shadow for the trickery of it or something like that. But if it's just wits and feeding in all the data and stuff and all the timing,
feeding in all the data.
Perfect, cool. then you just roll. See what you get. That is a strong hit. Love it. Love to see it. I love that for me.
Yeah, so you get +2 momentum and a +1.
I love it. I'll take the +2 momentum happily.
I'm helping.
You are helping, and that
are you the one flying this thing, or am I?
I'm doing the roll up out of the planet because that's a stealth roll.
Oh, okay.
And I can do this. I can do apparently the evasive, sneaky stuff.
We
But it's like,
definitely
let me get you at
definitely
least
want
into
Blizzard on this
space.
couple.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you up and out of here. You just have to get us home. So we're gonna where's shoot? I hit the wrong character sheet here. I need to close some character sheets. There it is, buzzards. All right. So I'm gonna move my momentum up to a whopping 3. That's fine. That's fine. And I am going to roll face danger. Reading in all this data. Rolling stealth or trickery. Basically timing it right before or right after one of the volcano blasts. What do you think? What's it? Do we let it go past and then go, or do we go and have this thing rolling past after us?
Say we go and then let it come back behind us. That way it also blocks their path from following us.
I like it.
Yep.
All right, cool.
It screws up our heat signature and screws up their path.
I ask only for the visual of this thing basically riding the edge of a wave up and out of this.
Oh hell yeah! Oh
ridiculous
yes,
system.
yeah,
I love
absolutely. It. Let's give the computer graphics department a challenge.
I'm not. I would like to not be the sole source of all shitty rolls in this game. That would be awesome, and we'll see how that goes now.
Well, I mean, now you've tempted fate, so
it's freaking 9. Jiminy, I got a 9, and I still the challenge is weak hit.
See?
All right, it's fine.
Damn mouth shut.
All right, on the strong hit. All right, on a weak hit you succeed, but not without cost. You can make a suffer move. I don't want to take another thing on another damage thing to the ship, but I might have to.
Why don't you take damage?
The ship taking damage makes the most sense.
It does.
Structural damage.
Structural damage. All right, so yeah, it's like so basically, I cut it a little bit too close to the thing, to the blast, and it's like it takes a little bit of like tumbling the ship end over end before we manage to get control of it and get up out of this. And the ship itself, oh my poor baby, my poor baby. Oh, the integrity is actually at a 2 now. That's not great.
Can
we not
this planet
break the ship anymore?
I think she's just
sheer force of personality.
I think Soul is just giving you side eye as you're flying it.
It'll be fine. We're gonna fix it when we get back to Ramshackle. It'll be fine.
I love that Soul in my head is occupying the same chair that my grandfather, who was a flight engineer for Pan Am back when transatlantic jets had flight engineers and not computers. Like it's that seat with just like every button and dial and everything, but you're still doing math by hand with like a slide rule. And yeah.
Okay.
Got all the really, really skinny drawers of astrogation charts that are hard, that are actually like physical paper.
So,
because you don't want to rely on the electronics. You might have to.
Whether or not the ships actually got in there, and I like the idea of them maybe getting at least somewhat swallowed up by this blast. Whether or not they got taken out, but swallowed up by this blast and like kind of subsumed in the big wall of snow or whatever. When you set a course, so you get to set a course. You get to either follow the fastest path and take +2 momentum on a hit, or you follow the safest path and add +1 to the roll itself. So do you want a bonus on navigation, or do you want to like store up more momentum?
Oh, I do like having more momentum. But also adding a +1 is very nice.
Mm-hmm.
These dice, the dice are brutal.
Mm-hmm. The dice are brutal.
I think we're gonna go with the safest path because we've already had enough damage to the ship.
Okay.
Not on because of Soul, mind you.
We don't have to say that part out loud. Everybody
You can throw me under the bus if you want to. I will say, for the record, though, at a meta level, you're the one that decided to break the ship to do damage to the ship on the last move, and then not do a recover move. So both of those.
That's fair.
That's on the story gods.
Does Buzzard have the ace card?
Oh God, no. That's
amazing.
I'm not picking up the ace card. No, I used Fugitive for it, which gives me an automatic success. It lets me tie back into background history and stuff that.
Yeah. I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
Exactly. So
yeah, I think we're just gonna go with the safest.
So the move in question is set a course. Set a course is what you use when you're when you kind of know the route, as opposed to when you're exploring like completely outside of, like, there is no, you have to do little skips and hops and kind of explore your way and feel it as you go. Whereas secure, and we've got a way to do just set a course because we can backtrack along the path that we used to get to system. Where's the big star map?
Weak hit.
What did you get? Weak hit?
Weak hit, yeah.
That's because, and you'll know on the roll, it circles when the dice are, like, you rolled a 1. How did you get a 5 anyway? That's crazy.
Is it because it's going off of,
I don't know.
Because it's supply.
Oh, it's off of supply. That's good. I'm glad. Yeah, you roll supply when you're doing set of course as opposed to like a stat, which is pretty cool. Thank you for finding that, Andrew. I hardly ever use set of course, so in my play. So set of course.
How are we getting there? Seat of my pants.
Yeah, pretty much. Follow a known route through perilous space across hazardous terrain within mysterious site. Roll supply. On a weak hit, you arrive but face a cost or complication. Suffer costs en route, making the suffer move either one suffer move at -2 or 2 suffer moves at -1. Face a complication at the destination. Individual recover. Now, the obvious one, the easy one, is that we use a ton of supply. So between fuel, just stuff, and because we're taking a safe, slow.
And do you think, because we got hit, do you think maybe our gas is sort of like leaking, like our gas?
Oh, fuel leak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we, it's causing us to lose supply.
Yeah. I dig that. So we can take, so everybody's supply, and you got to do this on each of your individual sheets. Everyone's supply drops to 3 because that is the shared stat.
One of you all who has facility with that in mind. Thank you, sir.
I will do the thing.
I'm going to do the ship, so.
Thank you.
Since that's what we're leaking, that is it enough that it leaves a discernible trail in the sky or in the space?
I mean, we're in E.
Actually, it would dissipate fairly quickly. So.
And we're in the jump, so it doesn't really matter. We're definitely using up fuel at a much more accelerated.
Does this universe use sublight or FTL?
Both, yeah. It's got these E-drive things. It's the way they describe it is, if we're using the known paths, we basically go point A to point Z and just jump, and it takes us a couple of hours, a little bit longer for the known paths because we're taking longer stretches. But when we're doing the Explorer or
yeah, I'd say that
undertake an expedition is like a couple hours worth of a jump, but you're doing like little skips across the pond, like you're doing little mini jumps as you go, kind of a deal.
That dovetails nicely with sort of the page I took out of the Alliance Union space, so the station where Radar spent too many of his formative years after his family blowed up was on a very out of the way jump point, which is why he was stuck there for so damn long.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, because we passed a couple of planets that were like, this is awesome, and it's just because it's not on the known routes that it's not. And actually, since it is a known route now, hang on.
Parenthetically, if you like this type of thing and you are not familiar with CJ Cherry's Alliance Union series, specifically the more hard SF stuff like Down Below Station and everything that springs from that, as opposed to the sort of more fantasy or whatever elements. But yeah, it's good stuff. If you like this type of content and you need a book to read, I highly recommend. I can give you guys a list later, or throw you a link.
So I changed the map a little bit. We've got a couple of like known route kind of things that are the gold routes and stuff. This pink route is the one that Saul has figured out. So we've got that in our navigation charts as a known route, but nobody else does.
Is Saul S-O-L S-A-U-L?
Yeah, like the sun, like the star.
Like
Sol.
the sun. Sol. Okay. Sol.
Sol.
Okay, got it.
So going back to what was it? Retrieve Jackal's assets from an uncharted world. We can mark that. And I think Doc, I think getting off the planet was probably, so off the planet and flying were probably two different marks. So you can mark it twice on your, yeah.
Oh, I should have 6 marked.
You should no mark again.
Okay.
Because we did 2 things there that would probably help. All right, so this will be interesting because we actually have 2 different things. So we come back to Ramshackle Station. We're back in the space around Ramshackle Station, which hang on, I'll show to players there and pull up the big old picture. So it's like this cobbled together mess of if a Earth-side shantytown was a space station, that's kind of Ramshackle, and it's in front of this big old gas giant with crazy weird colors on it and stuff like that. That's why we used the picture that we used.
Wow.
And it's just, yeah, I took a acrylic pour painting and just put it in the background behind the space station.
That's gorgeous.
So all we have to do now is just really kind of finalize the vow and say we brought the stuff back. So we just dock the ship, bring it to Jackal, and
good to go.
Resolve the stuff.
And these are all things that are smooth enough that we don't have to complicate.
Oh no, we still have to roll.
Got it. That was
Everything's uncomplicated. Come on.
Come on.
I mean, I asked because I vaguely recall something about trying to make breakfast and setting the galley on fire. So
yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna ask Mo to roll. If you go to the ship, the consequences of our own actions sheet, and if you go to the vows thing there's a retrieve Jackal's assets from an uncharted, which we've done. I mean that doesn't have to. We don't even. We've landed at the station. So all you have to do
retrieve Jackal's assets, but what I heard was save Jackal's ass.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Retrieve Jackal's assets. So all you have to do is hit the fulfill button there, and it does the rolling for you. Which is basically it treats it as though we roll however many boxes we filled in against the challenge dice.
Strong hit.
Oh,
love it. So we get to treat it like we rolled a 9. Sean Tompkins has put in a couple of things in here that make it hard. Like obviously the optimal thing is to fill in the bar as far as you can, but you can still roll a 10 and fail. But he does this thing where things get progressively more painful to fill in. In some cases, like if you're doing a delve in a dungeon or something like that, the monsters get worse the farther up the bar you're filled. That kind of thing. Anyway, so strong hit, and that is on the conclude. What's it called? Fulfill your vow thing. My character sheet's in a weird place. So fulfill your vow. When you reach the end of your quest, roll the challenge dice, blah, blah, blah. On a strong hit, your vow was fulfilled. Mark a reward on your quest legacy track according to the vow's rank. For troublesome, you get 1 tick. Dangerous gives you 2 ticks. Formidable fills in a box, and extreme fills in 2 boxes. Epic fills in 3 boxes. Okay, so this is just 1 tick. It's not that big of a deal. But so Mo, on your sheet for Saul, go to the legacies and just hit mark on once in the quests bar. Does that make sense?
Yeah, did.
Okay.
Done. Diddly done.
So the way the XP works in the game is every time one of these boxes fill in on either one of these 3 rows, you get 2 XP.
Nice.
So doing stuff, whether it's making bonds with people or discoveries or whatever, you get to mark ticks and stuff like that. So you can actually have like several things tick off at once and end up with like, oh, suddenly
Forget to mark yours.
Well, I marked mine.
Okay, because we share that vow, so.
Yep, and that vow is complete, so yay. Now, Doc.
Yes.
You go on, I'll have you do this one because it's easier than having Frank do it. On your sheet, on your vows, delivered the synthetic plasma safely to Jackal. So we've gotten you to the station, and we'll go along with you because we want to talk to Jackal too. But delivering it to Jackal, now you hit fulfill. Kind of 2 pieces here. Strong hit.
Okay.
Love it. Love to see it. It's one of those things where like, okay, you've gotten back to the station. We've delivered you. Deliver the plasma. Double 10s. Okay, shit. What happened? But in this case,
throw it off the side.
okay. Deliver the.
So then, same thing.
Yep, you mark 1 thing on the quest, and I need to check and see. I'll go loop back here at another point. I'm trying to remember. I feel like Mo, we might have gotten a discovery tick for doing that troublesome undertaken expedition. I think completing that might have given us a tick on discoveries. I can't remember.
Yes, we did. Hold on, let me look. Because I had a tick. I do have a tick on discovery.
I think I forgot. I forgot to do that.
What?
So, good job, you. So yeah, undertaking expeditions does discoveries. Certain things like if you do your the other thing, not undertake an expedition, but the set a course. If you set a course and you get a hit with a match, you get a discovery. Like you find a shorter way to get there that nobody else knows about, and you get a discovery tick. That kind of, there's all kinds of stuff. So mark a thing on discoveries also for us. All right, cool. So yeah, that is a pretty clean finish up for that. We roll into the Starfall Lounge is the lounge that Jackal sort of secretly runs.
Yep.
I'm gonna pull the background of the city.
Oh yeah, thank you. Where is that? Where did I put that? Did I put it here? Nope. Here.
I just got to figure out how to tell Jackal that.
Maybe I didn't have it up.
I thought you did.
I think I don't know if I kept the picture up. Hang on, I'll get it.
You had a picture of Jackal looking over his shoulder at us.
Yeah, I did. I had
like a city photo too that we had.
Neon.
I had an image here of Ramshackle though that was.
While Joyce is looking for that, we actually were talking about like how like there's not really like holograms or like those like hologram like sort of projections, and more like neon signs and like lighting, so it's a little more of a gritty sort of feel to it.
Yeah.
Very Dredd. Not Dr. Dredd.
Judge Dredd?
Judge Dredd, there we go, yeah.
Dr. Dredd.
I was like, no, Dr. Dredd, where did that come from?
The little club or the little pub in Firefly where they first see
in Serenity.
Yeah, where they first see River Cam kick so much ass.
Yep, in the movie when they like give up all their guns and then.
Yep, that's super gritty because you're like walking. It looks like it was like built into an abandoned mine or something. They're like walking down into a cave.
There's I got it up on Roll20.
Yeah, it looks very Firefly-esque.
Yep. This is, I think, concept art from The Expanse. if I remember right.
Oh, cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's also
That
got
makes
kind
a lot of sense.
I really need to get into that.
In any way,
It's really good.
in any case, okay, so we roll in there.
Mhm.
Any problems?
Define problems.
I love that all three of you are like,
Define problems.
Yeah, like
Did you run into anybody who didn't want you to?
Oh yeah. Oh, just a little bit. You could have warned us that.
Ebon Skull.
Yeah.
And I also have good news and bad news. I've got it.
no,
I've got
you
a,
only have
I've got a-
bad news. I have
Well,
good
no,
news.
no. I have a good news, good news sandwich. The good news is, let me back up.
He's just looking at you.
I have a gigantic pile of spare parts for you. The bad news is,
They're on an ice planet.
that ship you loaned me did not have the structural integrity to survive that planet. But the good news is that I know exactly where those spare parts are and how to get back there safely.
Oh shit.
I can't. All right. I'm gonna.
Can I borrow a barge?
You're saying you crashed my ship? No, you can't.
I'll come back with a big lot of
I have legitimate
pig
good
iron.
news.
I got all pig iron.
I
Doc,
have just straight up good news.
improve my day.
And I just wheel over the cart of like all of the synthetic plasma completely like just safe and all in one piece.
And this
kept-
works. And
Yeah.
this works?
Yeah.
You're sure?
Yes.
All right.
Isn't that right, Johnny? And then Johnny comes up and like tackles Jackal and starts like playing with him.
Oh, God. Why does he like me? I'm like allergic to these things. Why do they always get up in my face like this?
They know you're allergic, therefore they're trying to kill you.
Rockjaws look like rhinos, size of Rottweilers, act like cats.
He loves being petted unless you touch that spot, and then you get the horn.
It's just he gets up. He goes, "Okay, all right. I don't like livestock in my bar."
Just give him a treat and he'll leave you alone, and you know he will.
They're notoriously clean animals.
All right. You know what? This is actually good news. I'll tell you what. I'm going to put you up. Whatever you need, room and board. Buzzard's like, repairs. Oh, did your ship pick up a couple of dings? I am both shocked and astonished.
And I think Soul's like just sort of like looks like a buzzer, just like smirks with an eyebrow raise.
This is not the reason that we're
like 6 solid hours in the fresher, but I promise I'm only going to use like 2 hours of water.
I can't know why that delta exists. All right. Listen, I might have another job for you, but we're going to table that for a little bit. Food's on me, drinks on me, repairs at a discount. Not whatever.
For the price of just a little fuel, I could get you so many.
We'll talk. I got to figure out what to do with this stuff. And he kind of like whistles or something, and the bartender goes. And the bartender had already disappeared and comes back out with like a hand truck kind of a thing for carting the crate away.
Don't
and everything
put
like
your
that.
fingers too close to that off-gassing without wearing gloves.
Doc, I might need to ask you some more about this once we get ready to put this thing into proper testing here on the station. Meantime, yeah, settle in. So the last thing, and this is more like introduce it to the game or anything like that. Who's like, did any of us get hurt?
I think your pride got hurt.
Yes.
Well, yes.
I recovered somewhat from that.
Egotistical damage.
There is damage to the ship, but we could do.
I feel like Doc was patching radar up at some point earlier? We kind of glossed over it.
Yeah, we didn't really.
It was enough that he noticed previous scars.
You weren't physically. You weren't necessarily physically hurt, but
it's wrenched my shoulder a little bit.
Yeah. The ship itself is pretty beat up though, which is not awesome.
You know how when you're young and you trip and you catch yourself and your muscles go sproing, and then you get a little bit older and you trip and you catch yourself and your muscles go. It was the second one.
It was the second one. Okay, so there's one last move I want to try and do here, and I'll roll it because it's my pain.
While you do it, yeah, Dingo. It's not called Pride. It's called Spirit, and it's totally a stat that you can roll and drop if need be.
Yes, and I.
Case in point, the first episode.
I took a spirit hit from my
catching a fire.
It was meant to be good. I almost had that this morning. I made breakfast for everybody, and the pancakes weren't exactly coming together the way that I'd hoped. But I managed to pull out a mixed success on that one. Everybody pretended that they liked him.
But what happened in the game?
I set the kitchen on fire. Oh,
good.
I thought it was going. Well, this is the problem. I have one cookbook, and it's an ancient ring binder with a magic marker name title scrawled across the front of it. It's 101 recipes for a single protein extruder, and that's what I cook out of.
That's the modern equivalent of a man, a can, a plan.
Yeah, and that's what I was doing. It's modern. So the move in this case is called Sojourn, which is like a move you can do when you're someplace where it's basically you're relatively safe and you can do a thing. And this is actually good for everybody, but not everybody's really beat up. So when you have spent time recovering in a community, roll plus heart. Oh, my heart is shit.
It is pretty bad. I was going to say, what time did we land? What time of day is it? Because how busy is the bar? We just wheel things in.
Well, I'm assuming it was it was off hours because otherwise we probably wouldn't have rolled it in like that. But
so maybe we came in the morning.
Yeah, probably would have had to been the morning. Really, first half of the day, it's probably going to be quite quiet.
Yeah.
I can go get coffee.
Yeah, on the strong. Okay, I screw it. I'm going to take a shot here. Roll plus heart. All right. I'm going to roll Sojourn. The cool thing about it is it's sort of like there's individual recover moves, like having somebody medically treat you, spiritually recover, repair the ship, stuff like this. Sojourn is one roll that lets the whole group go, I want to pick this move and this recover move and this recover move. And it's great for getting everybody back on their feet if you can pull off the roll. If not, stuff happens.
I'm going to say for me, it would be looking out of either the window or the LED screen that has the view of that gorgeous planet below us.
Yeah, you actually have a thing with Voidborn. I think you can expand your Voidborn path to get a bonus to, I think, Hearten or something like that if you're recovering on a space station,
for the
Spaceborne community.
Then those two things would go together really nice. Sorry, I'm sort of metaing the acrylic paint that you chose as the planet. So Explorer and being on a space station would kind of go together.
Twice.
Is that a good roll or bad roll?
It's a really bad roll.
Shit. Is that for him or all of us?
You gotta
Just for him.
Kidding. No, I think we know what the next
kind of a group thing.
Look, you were so upset your kid the elf came in to check on you.
Last roll of the game. I'm trying to relax and get the ship repaired.
No. You don't get to. You scared me so badly.
I go. When you spend time recovering within a community, roll plus heart. On a miss, choose one. The community needs your help or makes a costly demand in exchange for safe harbor. Envision what they ask of you. If you do it, swear an iron vow to see it done. Resolve this move as a strong hit. If you find no relief, you find no relief and the situation grows worse, pay the price. And I think
What situation is it?
I think I want to do the swear an iron vow thing. Like people come and say, "There's iron sworn back on the station. We need help." And because it's a match, it's going to be awful.
It's
or
gonna
like
be so
or
bad.
multiple.
An
Or,
idea.
This is a great.
I have an amazing idea for this.
yeah.
Straight up, we get followed onto the ship by a full fleet of the consortium of the Evan skulls, and they are like literally like what is it called when you blockading the they're literally like trade blockading the entire space station.
So Ramshackle Station has. All right, this is I'm show this again because there's now it's orbiting a planet Tempest, Jovian world orbiting a blue star, marginal atmosphere. Ramshackle, the orbital settlement, has hundreds of residents governed by an ineffectual authority. The settlement is occupied with shipbuilding and research projects. Its troubles are numerous, including stolen technology, being preyed upon by raiders, and mysterious deaths. So,
Well,
okay.
And we just led a whole bunch of extra raiders right to them.
I would suggest. So here's my thought.
Because the fuel leak was worse than we thought.
I would suggest.
it's just a suggestion. It's not a.
No, I love the idea. Let's just say we're done, and we start with all of that happening next time we get a chance to play.
Yes.
With like everybody coming to us saying, "You're Iron Sworn. You have to help us with this."
And be like, oh no. And so question, should I roll to start fixing the ship now, or should that wait till next game?
Well, here's the thing. If we do this, the community needs your help, makes a costly demand in exchange for safe harbor. Envision what they ask. If you do it, if we swear an iron vow to see it done, we resolve this sojourn move as a strong hit. So what that lets us do is we can each choose 2 recover moves, including repair. So, and we don't even have to roll. We can just choose it as though they were.
It's like we're fixing the problem and they're fixing the ship for us.
So we can repair the crap out of the ship. We between the like a strong hit, I think it's at a facility. A strong hit gets us, take 1 integrity. Like we don't. This is overkill for repairing the ship. They'll and you could absolutely be the one repairing it, but you don't need to roll in this case.
Okay.
If we were out in the field and stuff, like you can actually repair, like while we're under fire in the middle of combat and stuff, and get the integrity ship.
You hold down the ship. I'm gonna go in the thing. Yeah. You're like, who's flying? You're like, you are.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't. I've got to be the one flying in that case. You need to get back in the guts of the thing and actually fix it, which is fine. But yeah, we can actually. But yeah, we can assume that we'll get the repairs on the ship, but we're also going to have to deal with. I love the blockade as one of the 2 terrible things that are happening right now.
It's the other one that we have to repel borders.
Now that's
space station.
It sounds like the same kind. That sounds like the same kind of problem. We needed like something else related because we got like people going missing, or multiple murders and stuff like that. So there's like multiple things that were being brought because I rolled a miss with a match. A miss.
Gotcha.
With a match.
I love the way this game gives you unintended consequences.
I will say, and even if you're playing it solo, this is like for GMing. This is like going to the gym. Like this makes you a better GM for handling like weird twists and turns because it is. A, it's twists and turns, but B, the other important thing is unless you just go gonzo, I can't keep track of everything happening, part of what you need to do is reincorporate it back to previous crap that you've had going on. Otherwise, you just get so many threads out there that never get wound up. So reincorporation and looping it back is super important.
Or it becomes lost.
I would like to not be
every writer in the room is adding a new plot thread that never gets resolved.
I would like to not be the single fountain of all bad rolls. That would be fantastic.
On that tip, thanks for rolling my stuff too.
Yeah, you got the decent rolls, and every time I was rolling buzzard, it's like, oh, you're back on that sheet, are you? Well, Let me just kick
Also,
you
I
in the.
love the conceit that seems to live in the hearts of gamers everywhere, that there are a finite number of good roles in the universe.
I'm not getting any of them right now.
From a common pool that we are all drawing.
All I am doing is I am balancing the teeter-totter in favor of the rest of y'all at this point.
I've got 3 minutes and I need to bounce.
Dingoes,
Yeah.
Dingoes. The next time that we do this, we'll get you on here. We'll have you be one of the people.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I'd love to
Oh,
meet Dingoes.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I say that it's like somebody else has to not make it because I think we're probably. This is my
the limit
personal.
of people we can have.
Starforged gets. I've played with 5. 5 is a lot. Well, no, 5 is a lot. Is this right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I played with 5 active characters, and that's kind of a lot. In this game,
I really enjoy the co-op aspect of this too. This may be the first time I've ever done a TTRPG where, I mean, yes, there's 2 of us here who know the rules a hell of a lot better than the other half of us, but it's the fact that we're all sharing the story. I really enjoy that a lot.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
there's always some of that in There's always some of that in Masks
Mhm.
to a certain extent, but it comes down to me asking questions or whoever's running it asking questions. In this case, it really should be like I played Jackal, but I don't have to be the one who plays Jackal. Like anybody can grab the reins.
Yeah, of an NPC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew coming in there saying, "I know exactly what's on the ship." I mean,
Yep,
that could
I love
be
it.
how you GM and have the players throw on the ideas. But there's this case. My hope is that I'm doing facilitating right now, and I know the rules, so I'm talking more. But my hope is that as we get familiar, that goes away. At least to a certain extent, as much as I am ever able to make that go away due to the nature of me being me. Some of that is just going to be my own.
I'll say
mouth.
I'm not mad about it because
Anyway,
you have a pretty mouth, so it's all good.
Wow. And on that note,
Go do your thing.
I'm gonna go.
Your
gotta go to
3
Soundcheck.
minutes are
Love you.
up.
Dingoes, thank you for hanging out with us.
Thanks, Dingoes.
Bye, Dingoes.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
All right, stream is down.
Yeah, I gotta